Today I was feeling kind of down, so I decided to take myself to the park and have my first meal of the day next to the trees and shit. And I just listened to an audio message that a friend of mine made about Christianity and religion and how it impacts her family members versus how it impacts herself. And I said something and I realized something that helped to bring me more peace about my current situation. And what I said was that when you believe something to impact you, or you open up your energy to a specific experience, that is the only way that that thing can reach you. Because if everything is you pushed out, when you believe that demons and monsters and Satan is trying to literally fuck your entire life over, that's what you're going to experience. And I remember when I was Christian, what really happened was that I was experiencing depression and I told my mom, and then she was like, you need to pray, you need to fast, you need to this. So me being young, not really knowing any other options, I believed her. And during that period, I did experience that Christian peace that came with giving all of your worries and your fears and everything to God. But I also got the anxiety and the not so great experiences that came from, adopting a mindset of Christianity. And I would experience like having nightmares and having dreams about demons being in my closet. And then just like literally I think I was experiencing religious psychosis because everything I had to relate to God. I couldn't really see how things were just because that they were. And I would just over spiritualize everything. And even now that I define myself as a spiritual person, I do not allow my spirituality to override my humanness and override my human experience. I feel like that's the major difference. And also, now that I understand my spirituality, I do not just open up myself to shit just because. Because a lot of people open themselves up to Christianity due to fear, due to not understanding how they're going to make it past a certain path, so they turn to Christianity. That was my mother's story. She told me it a while ago. And it's like, it's cute when it helps you, when it aids you, but I don't think people understand how that mindset could pull you down as well. Thinking that you aren't shit and thinking that you're deserving of suffering and pain and that your default state is unworthy and that you have to gain worthiness from this character in the sky that is personified as a white man that you've never seen before, and you're praying to and giving offerings to an ancestor that doesn't even look like you. It's just a whole lot of bullshit, right? And in ways, I feel like the reason why I'm feeling down today is because I had an interaction with my mother where she was just putting so much fear onto me. And in the moment, I didn't care. But the more that I sit on it, it's like, you don't want your mother to be like a dick to you. And I feel like the worst combination is when a parent, especially of our skin tone, is not only Christian and rejecting their spirituality, but they also have narcissistic tendencies due to trauma. And I feel like my mom just gives that, The narcissism in the sense where everything has to do with her. She's so scared, she's so fearful, and she can't admit that. And I tried to reach her years ago. I tried to talk to her. I tried to help her out with her spirituality, with her trusting herself, loving herself. And it just never seems to penetrate due to that mindset that Christianity has instilled into her. And on top of that, justifying the way she traumatizes me and the way that she projects fear onto me as Christianity, as, oh, I'm doing my job by putting all of this fear onto you. Okay. And it's like, sometimes it really pisses me off because, like, I know deep down that I have so much potential, and a lot of my depressive episodes would start off because I would, like, sit back and really think and be like, damn, I have so much potential and I'm not fulfilling it. And, you know, I'm only 18, right? I'm literally just a jit, but I see so much for myself. I'm pretty sure I always have. Sometimes, you know, my vision would be cloudy or foggy because of the amount of doubt and fear and just bad energy that I was surrounded by within my environment. And now, in this era of my life, I chose not to go to college, at least not directly after high school. And I feel like every decision that I make makes me happier, but it makes the people around me more confused and fearful. And I don't feel sorry for them. I feel more upset for myself because when your mother is doubting in you, literally saying like, I'm gonna give up on you because you're choosing to honor yourself, because I chose myself over what the system wants me to do, it's like, it's just an insane feeling. And I used to reject the fact that I am a very sensitive being, but I am. I cry a lot over shit. Things be hurting my feelings, and I feel like my inner child is like, she's a baby. She's a baby. My inner child is probably like 6, 7 for real. Like, she's probably 6, 7. You know, she has an ego, she has a sense of self, but it's still very fresh, very new. And things be hurting my feelings, you know? I'm not gonna lie, and it's okay that things hurt my feelings. It's just in so many ways. Whenever I choose myself, I feel like I get punished for it. Not in a sense where I'm punishing myself anymore, but the people around me are trying to condemn me to their hell that they created within their reality. And it's a lot harder to ignore it when that person is your mother or your brother or your father. And I don't have a lot of family. I'm not mad at it because I understand that the most beautiful connections have been the community that I have chosen, the people that I choose to have around me and to be around. But in that same breath, who you spend the most time around, it's like, it's inevitable that you're gonna pick up on some of their energy, right? And I've been doing the nervous system regulation. I decided that I wanted to devote as much time as my body said that it needed in order to heal and in order to regulate my nervous system. And in order for me to feel worthy of the things that I know I am worthy of inherently. But then again, here comes my own mother, the woman that birthed me. Like, I don't think she doesn't understand what she's saying or what she's doing, but it's like in my head, I see it for how it is, and I'm like, you rejected yourself and the essence of who you are due to fear, and you hate me because I'm not gonna do the same thing. That's literally how it is in my head. And sometimes that thought makes me feel really down because I feel like I'm a lot more compassionate than I allow myself to recognize. I don't like to see the people around me suffer, but especially if it's at my expense, I try to be as nonchalant about it as I can. But the truth of the matter is that I'm not a nonchalant person. I'm actually very passionate. And back when I used to reject my passion for life and my passion for living the life that is the most beautiful to me, I lost my train of thought. There's a dog. I was saying, when I reject my passion for life, I am depressed. And I heard a thingamajig on TikTok one day where, I forgot who it was, but they was like, depression is de-expression. If you want to get out of a state of depression, you have to express yourself. And even now as I'm speaking, I feel like I'm liberating myself by getting everything that is in my head and everything that felt stuck in my energy off of my fucking chest. Like, it feels so good to do this. And I don't know how I'm going to leave my current environment. I'm not gonna lie, 18 is the year where I have experienced, oh my God, I've experienced the full range of what emotions and your state of being can be. I will have moments where I feel so joyful and so grateful to be alive. And there's so much joy in the present moment that I can't even imagine being in the future. Like, that's how much I'm enjoying the present moment. And then there's some times where it's like, I feel like it is a punishment to breathe. But I'm not mad at that, you know? Like, I feel like the whole point of being human is to experience everything that is here. Because even now, where it's like I've lived in the same place for damn near a decade now, even then I feel like there's so much to see, so much to explore, so much to do with my life and with my perception of life. And even just doing something as simple as changing your perception of life could make your environment seem like it's changing. So in its own weird way, I feel like this is my therapy, talking to y'all. I love it. And I want to be more consistent for myself, for real. Because the whole thing that I do when I start to feel shitty or emotionally drained or I want to withdraw my energy is that what's really happening is that I want to be seen, I want to be heard, but I'm afraid that if I reach out, that I'm going to be hurt even more. So I just hide and I withdraw myself. And that never does me good. It never does. 18 was the year where I learned that. 18 was a lot of things for me. 18 was a lot of things. Before my 19th birthday, I want to make a video on like the 18 biggest lessons that I've learned from just being alive for this long. Cause, ooh, the winds. I remember when I was like 15, 14, 13, in that era, I couldn't imagine even making it to 18, like being alive. I was that depressed, like that down. And now, whenever I feel like doubt, it pisses me off more than it makes me sad because it's like, I see so much for myself. Like, I will never stop saying that I see so much potential in myself, and I feel like every human being on earth has so much potential. And the whole game of life is choosing if you want to fulfill that potential, how you're going to fulfill that potential, and yeah. That's all I have to say. I'm going to color now. Bye. like, what I just drew. And I want to tell you guys what I wrote within it, because at first I was just doing shit, and then I was like, how can I make this meaningful? And I just decided to flow with the first idea that came into my head. And with the boundaries that I created between like certain, like different forms of art, I decided that in this blob of just color, I'm just gonna write until there's no more to write within the boundary. And I like where it ended, so I wanna share it with y'all. I'm gonna wait for this plane to pass though. Okay, plane is passed. I wrote, the struggles of life feel wild, invasive, and limitless at times. It feels never ending in the moment and strips all hope from you at times. The thing is, even the most wild chaos has boundaries it must respect. No one circumstance can crush you without your permission. That is a boundary that chaos must respect, whether it destroys you for the better or worse. Wait, that is a boundary that chaos must respect. Yeah. Whether it destroys you for the better or the worse, it cannot move without you. So don't sit in it, okay? All it can do is trap you. And that's where like my little thing ended. And I fucks with it. Like, if it didn't make sense reading it, it's okay, because I wrote it for me. I made this for me. I just wanted to share this in case anyone else could like see the beauty within this spill of consciousness. But I'm gonna explain it in the way that I view it within my head. So when I first started with the colors, I was just like, I don't really have a direction that I want this to go in. And I was just adding colors that I felt looked good together. I was kind of doing it how, if you watch Bob Ross, the painter nigga, he says, yeah, make sure you put the darks first and then put light afterwards, so you make the light colors pop out more. So I did that. And then after that, I was like, what am I gonna do with the rest of this page? And I made a random squiggly line. And I did these bitches. And I feel like down here looks really pretty. I really like the green with the blue and the yellows. And then everything after that was just a whole lot of nonsense, but I was having fun with the nonsense, you know? And then I just had this big white space in the middle, and I was like, beauty in the chaos, because even though this looks interesting, it's like, I still find it pretty, you know? And I was like, I could use these as like boundaries. And I was like, chaos does have to respect certain boundaries, because while chaos and hardship and all of these things are here to teach you, I feel like, at least in my case personally, from what I've seen from life, they have to respect certain boundaries. Do I know the exact boundaries? No. But I know that they have to respect some boundaries. Like, you know, they're here to fulfill their purpose, not to make you suffer for no reason. They only can make you suffer for no reason if you give them the permission to. So, don't do that to yourself. Don't sit within chaos for longer than you have to. Don't do it. You don't deserve that. And on top of that, it's like, you have so much life to live, so like, why waste it all in chaos? Experience the full range of emotions, evolve as much as you can emotionally, so that you can remember this experience as something beautiful and colorful and chaotic in a way that was beautiful.